This presentation will provide an overview of the service animal policy at the University of Washington. Our goal is to ensure that all university personnel understand the rights and responsibilities associated with service animals and stay informed about recent policy updates made in fall 2024. As always, the University of Washington is committed to ensuring equal access for individuals with disabilities. It is both university and federal policy to uphold the rights of individuals with disabilities to fully participate and equally access all university programs, services, and activities. In order to do this, service animals can play a vital role in ensuring equal access. In fall 2024, the university revised its service animal policy to align with updates from the Washington State Legislature. These updates provide important clarifications, including clarification on access for service animals in training, clarification on the definition of an emotional support animal, and clarification on handlers' responsibilities, as well as circumstances under which an animal can be removed from the university's premises. Let's begin by reviewing the definitions of a service animal in training, and an emotional support animal. A service animal is a dog or a miniature horse that is individually trained to do work or perform a task for an individual with a disability. Such work or task performed by the service animal must be directly related to the individual's disability. Next, a service animal in training. A service animal in training is a dog or miniature horse that is undergoing training to become a service animal. And finally, an emotional support animal. An emotional support animal is an animal that may provide emotional support or comfort that alleviates one or more of the identified symptoms or effects of a disability. However, it is important to note that under this policy, an emotional support animal is not considered a service animal. Now let's define the role of a handler. A handler can be a person with a disability who is assisted by a service animal or an emotional support animal, a personal care attendant managing the animal on behalf of a person with a disability, or a trainer working with a service animal in training. Regardless, all of these handlers are responsible for ensuring their animal's behavior, care, and impact on the university's environment. This includes keeping the animal under direct control at all times, whether by harness, leash, tether, voice commands, signals, or other effective means. Ensuring that the animal does not disrupt the learning, living, or working environments. Cleaning up after the animal immediately and properly disposing of any waste. Preventing the animal from entering any ponds, fountains, or streams on university property. Complying with local, state, and federal regulations, including licensing, vaccination, and leash laws. Addressing any damage or injury caused by the animal. Covering the cost of the animal's care, arrangements, and overall well-being. All these responsibilities are essential for maintaining a safe and inclusive campus environment for everyone. Now let's discuss assessing service animal status. University personnel must allow service animals to accompany their handlers in situations where it's readily apparent that the animal is trained to perform work or a task for the handler. For example, this can be a dog guiding an individual with low vision, pulling a wheelchair, or assisting with stability for someone with a mobility disability. When the need for a service animal is not apparent, university personnel may only ask the handler two questions. Is the service animal required because of a disability? And what work or task has the animal been assigned and trained to perform? Personnel may not request the following questions of handlers, such as details about the individual's disability, medical information or documentation or proof that the animal is a service animal, or a demonstration of the animal's ability to perform tasks. If the handler confirms that the animal is required due to a disability and trained to perform specific tasks, the service animal must be admitted. In cases of uncertainty, university personnel should admit the animal and consult with the ADA coordinator to determine future access. Now let's talk about animal access for these three animals protected under this policy. Service animals are allowed in all areas of the university's facilities and programs where their handlers are allowed. This includes public areas, public events, and other locations where university programs and activities take place. Service animals are also allowed in university food establishments, such as university restaurants and stores that serve the general public. A significant update to this policy is the expanded access for service animals in training. They are now permitted in any open area to the public or business invitees, including university food establishments. However, service animals in training are not allowed in university housing. In non-public spaces, access for service animals in training is at the discretion of the university personnel responsible for that building or area. Finally, access for emotional support animals. Whether on campus or in housing, the access for these animals are determined on a case-by-case basis through a formal accommodations request. These requests are evaluated by the Designated Disability Services Office, such as the Disability Resources for Students Office, or DRS, or the Disability Service Office, DSO. Now let's discuss ensuring access for service animals across specific environments. As a reminder, generally service animals are allowed access to any public area that a handler is allowed. For example, a handler is allowed to bring an animal into a UW library. However, some specific environments have some additional criteria or considerations to keep in mind. First, let's discuss workplaces. Employees who use a service animal and plan to bring the animal into their workplace must request an accommodation. To begin this process, employees should contact their local HR representative, leave or accommodation specialist, or the Disability Services Office. Next, academic environments. Service animals are permitted in any buildings or locations where the student with a disability is allowed access. Students using service animals are not required to register their animal with the university. However, they may choose to do so and contact their designated disability service office for assistance. The office can help proactively inform university employees, such as faculty, advisors, or building coordinators, that the service animal is granted access. Finally, university housing environments. Students requesting to bring a service animal into university housing must do so through the appropriate housing office or their designated disability services office. It is important to note there are certain areas of the university where animals may be restricted. This is in accordance with university policies, as well as state and federal laws and regulations. Some examples of restricted areas include food preparation areas, animal research facilities and grounds, medically sensitive patient and clinic areas, and biologically sensitive or hazardous research sites. When an animal is restricted from these specific areas, designated disability services office are available to assist handlers in evaluating reasonable accommodations. These offices work to ensure that the access needs are met in a manner consistent with the safety requirements and regulatory guidelines. Now let's discuss the removal of animals. There are circumstances in which university personnel may require a handler to remove their animal from university premises. These situations can include an abandoned animal, a direct threat to the health or safety of others, an animal that is not housebroken, an animal that is out of control, or an unhygienic animal. If a handler is required to remove an animal, they must be given the opportunity to return to the university property or the immediate area without the animal. Additionally, reasonable assistance must be provided to ensure they can continue participating in the university services or programs at that time. It is also important to note that an animal may only be excluded from an individual event based on its or the handler's behavior during that event. Handlers or university personnel with concerns about removal of their animals in the future should contact the ADA coordinator. Knowing when to contact the ADA office is essential for addressing service animal related questions and concerns. For university personnel, they should contact the ADA office in the following situations. There is doubt whether an animal is a service animal. if there is a need to exclude an animal from the university property due to repeated misconduct or serious behavioral concerns, or finally, if a unit or department requires policy interpretation and/or consultation. Handlers should also know when to reach out to the ADA office. Handlers are encouraged to contact us in these circumstances. If they need clarity about the rights and responsibilities, if they have concerns regarding the removal of their animal from the university property, or if they need assistance understanding the pathways available to file a complaint about a policy violation. The ADA office is here and happy to provide guidance, ensure compliance, and support access for individuals with disabilities. To support a community, the UW provides a range of resources for service animal guidance and accessibility needs. For direct assistance or questions, you can email the ADA office at adaoffice@uw.edu. Additional resources includes both APS 46.6, which is the Service Animal Policy, as well as the ADA office provides a Service Animal Policy overview and additional resources. These are all there to provide additional detailed information that were included in these slides. Furthermore, we also have designated disability service offices to help handlers with their specific accommodations as well as just access needs. The Disability Service Office provides services to all university employees, non-matriculated students, and all members of the public. The Disability Resources for Students at Seattle and supports all students enrolled at UW Seattle or any students in UW housing. The Disability Resources for Students at Bothell supports any students enrolled at UW Bothell, and Disability Resources for Students at Tacoma supports any students enrolled at UW Tacoma. We hope this training and presentation was helpful to understand the updates to the Service Animal Policy. If you have any questions and concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out and contact the ADA office.